usually they give us the rules. Okay? So if you look at this one, grade 11 paper, November 2023. So we're going to get something similar to this one. Time. It's mathematics paper 1, marks 150. Okay? Yes. Time is 3 hours. Yes. Okay. Now you need to go through your instructions. And then first you'll verify the question paper. The question paper. This one, they say it has 10 pages, including the information sheet, which is good. Usually they were saying they're not giving us the information sheet for grade 11, but they've changed it. Grade 10 and grade 11 now they are providing us with the information sheet. So if we look at page 2, so they say instructions and information. This question paper consists of 10 questions. Answer all the questions. So we have question 1, question 2, up until question 10. Yes. So you should answer them in no particular order. Clearly show all calculations, diagrams, graphs that you have used in determining your answer. You may use an approved scientific calculator, non-programmable, non-graphical, unless stated otherwise. Answer only will not necessarily be awarded full marks. If necessary, round off your answer to 2 decimal places, unless they say otherwise. So we're always going to be rounding off our answers to 2 decimal places, meaning let's do that by now. Let's go to our calculator and say shift fix, and then we say 6, and then we press 2 decimal places. Okay, diagrams are not necessarily drawn to scale. Like, we know about Mwete, when it's tough, they take out the rule and then they start to come here and then say, okay, Mara, I agree they will give you like graph here. They will measure here to say. Yes.
Well, next I want to go on the screen. Look over.
Yeah, we are still going through the instructions. And then, so diagrams are not necessarily drawn to scale. And then number the answers correctly according to the numbering system used in this question paper. And then they say which we should write neatly and legible. Now, guys, very important, huh? Yes.
The part of writing neatly and legible.
Yes.
So then, not.
No, not necessarily. We just saying which it shouldn't be difficult for the person who's marking your script. Okay. It should be visible.
Not.
Yeah, if I can't see it, like I'm not going to be busy searching. There are many papers that I'm marking, so it's going to be a challenge. That is why we say it's in your best interest to write neatly and legible. Okay. Now here's the story. Okay? You look at the marks. Okay. If you look at the marks, if it's 2 marks, and then whenever you're starting to take more than 5 minutes, it means we move on to the next question. You'll come back to that question. And then if it's 2 marks, it means there are not so many things that you need to do. For example, if we look at this one, 1.1.1. Again, the other thing that we should talk about, numbering system. This thing here is not 1.1, it's 1.1.1. So when you're going to be writing on a new page, let's go on a new page. And then you're going to be writing. If you're going to be writing, this is the mistake that I've seen with you. So you go and say, okay, question number 1. Okay. So it's question 1. And then you write, this is going to be 1.1. It's not 1. It's 1.1.1.
Oh, but say
yes.
1.1.
Yeah, 0.1.1. Yeah, it's fine. As long as you don't confuse 1.1 and 1.1.1. That is why we're saying number according to the numbering system used in this question paper. And then you write this thing. Exactly the way it is, you look at the marks. And then here, 4 marks means you need to put a little bit more effort. 5 marks, you can spend approximately 5 minutes. Okay. Now, as we are saying, once you get stuck on a question, you just leave a space. So let's say, for example, I'm trying to do question 1. Okay, let's just check what is this question 1. Okay, our question 1 says it's x squared minus 3x. For whatever reason, I can't do this one. So it's x squared minus 3x is equal to 0. I'm trying this thing, but it's not working out. So I'm just going to leave my spaces here. So okay, I'll come back to this thing. Come back later. Yes. I'll just leave some spaces for it. And then the other thing that I've seen, like if you're writing question 1, write your question 1. You can just leave my spaces. If it's 5 marks, maybe leave 5 lines here. You'll come back to it. You'll go back to this thing later on. And then leave 6 space here. Agree, you can always write like this. And then you can end here, somewhere here, and say x is equal to if it. But don't do this. There is this thing that you're doing, you say 1.1.1, 2.1.3, which all of a sudden, manje, the person who's marking, they're confused. And then they will say, start each question on a new page. As soon as you're done with this one, you go to your question 2 again. On a new page.
So then you got to combine to allow that.
I wouldn't advise you to do that. But okay, as long as you underline and then you show this is question 2. Now you're starting with question 2. This is, you are done
You
with
don't
question,
have
you are going to
paper.
question 2. And then on question 2, I don't expect to get 1.1.1 anymore. Agree, you said this is question 2.
Yes.
This is question 2. Stick to question 2 and then finish writing question 2. And then the other thing maybe that we should talk about, yes.
The part of name, for example, name.
Yes.
R carry 1.1.1. Then
1.1.1.
yampal
Yes,
again.
yes.
Kaya wala question x squared minus 3x equals to 0. Then kang wala, if it's wala, maybe 1.1.2, 1.1.3x. Kaupo dora man, there's something I can do this. Then calculator. Later kasi 3 lines, ne? Calculator then isa pa sa 3 lines, if it's 3 lines, then
Yeah, that's what I'm
withdraw-
saying.
withdraw.
I'm saying which advice. Agree, you left, okay, let's say 1, 2, 3. You say this thing is taking you longer than that. Okay? Yeah, I would advise you go to something like this and then continue here. When I agree, this is a page. If this is a page, then you just say this and then you continue somewhere to show with this thing is still continuing.
Then hingaira ero ka to shamuga isha ko fast.
And
Correct.
then you
To continue.
yeah, but it shouldn't be confusing because that is what you are talking about. Then once you say this is 1.3 and all of a sudden you back to 1.1, you rather cancel everything here. And then yeah, and then this is the other thing. We don't use TPEX. So since we're not going to be using any TPEX, when we made an error,
Yes.
one line, you simply scratch to say which is this one. It's not going to be the one that we are. And then now let's say there's this thing that let us do. Let's say you don't write another question. You wrote this one only, and then you cancelled. You cancelled, okay?
Yes.
And then you don't write any. I don't see any other 1.1.1 anyway. I'm going to mark this one.
Oh.
Now there is this other thing that you are doing. For example, mistake will choose. You do this one, and then you say or. Then you say or. Yeah, mistake will choose, and then you didn't cancel this one. Let's say this one was not cancelled. Okay, if we do this one, this is what you said. You said this is. Let's say you are wrong. Let's say you are wrong. You said x, and then what minus 2, what plus 1. For whatever reason, you said or what minus 1. Because this one is supposed to give you minus 3, which is wrong again. When you said x is going to be equal to 2, or x is going to be
Minus
1. This is minus here.
Okay.
Just in case you were wrong, even there. Okay. And then a part of you, sometimes when you're writing something wrong, it tells you, Mara, this is not right. And then you say, oh. And then you go and say, or. And then you write or part. On the O part is correct.
Yeah,
And then you have x squared again, minus 3x. And then you take out a common factor. And we said x minus 3 is equal to 0. And we say x is going to be 0 or x is going to be 3. Now, this is the set part. We are going to mark this one. This one, we don't even consider it. The O part, we don't even consider it.
Okay.
So when you're doing our O, you should pray with the O is the correct one.
Okay, sir. Then say, let's say you start the right one, then you take the wrong
The wrong
one.
one, we mark the first one.
Oh.
So Tina will always mark the first one. If there are 2 answers, you didn't cancel any one of them. Then for us to consider this one, the only thing that is going to save you is for you to do this. If something like this, I see something like this, then it means don't consider this. I will only consider it if there's no any other 1.1.1.
Okay.
It's clear. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, you go through your question paper. When you go through your question paper, question 1, we should start with it. That is my advice. Usually it happens, but sometimes it gives us flame. Let's start there. And then budget our time. If it's 25 minutes, let's spend approximately 30 minutes on this thing. And then in fact, here we should be flowing. Don't spend more than 30 minutes here.
Yeah.
And then you go to your question 2. Question 2, personally, I will say it's a little bit, especially per question 2 grade 11, it's a little bit tricky about exponents, but you can try it. I will personally say don't go to question 2. Skip question 2 and then go to question 3. Question 3, it's straightforward because it's a linear number pattern.
Yes.
So instead of going to question 2, you go back to question 2 later on. So you go to question 3. If you go to question 3, it's a linear pattern. Okay, they say write down the 4th term. Obvious. I think if it's linear, we know what the It's common difference. Okay?
Yes.
So that one we can do. And then you will see this one. Question 3 usually it's linear. If it's not linear, it's quadratic. And then question 4 is quadratic. Okay?
Yes.
And then we can also do question 3 and then go question 4. Because those ones I feel which we can do something. Although there's a possibility which we might not be able to do all the questions, but majority, like write down the fourth term, with fifth term, we can do that. Determine the general term of the pattern, we can do that. Okay? Determine term number 17. That one can be done. Okay. Now we can then try to go to our, I will say
Our champion.
functions. Let's leave the functions for now. And then if it's a function like this one, whereby we're given the equation we have to draw, we do that one. Again, that one we know we're going to be determining the y-intercept. X should be 0. No? Equations of the asymptote, whatever the value of Q is, it means which y is going to be 1. Again, draw a sketch. We're going to use table method. Don't forget. Again,
Table method again.
table method, we put it in our calculator. We go to go to
I
mode.
was lost.
So say,
Yes.
what if I draw? I have this tendency of drawing with the x-intercept and
Yeah,
y-intercept.
you can draw with the x-intercept. Remember, what does the table do? The table gives us the shape.
The shape,
Yeah, as long as you still, you can't run away from the fact that even if they just said draw, they say the question was starting by saying draw the sketch. You still need to get x-intercept.
Yes.
You still need to get y-intercept. And then if you know the shape of the graph, then I would say to it, Mara, the table then gives you the shape. So if we have to draw, we do that. Okay, we move on to interpretation of functions. We'll come back to it. I we are trying to say, let's start with things that are obvious. We come here, I effective. That one we know. I effective, and then this one is what we're doing now. Okay? 1 plus I effective equals to 1 plus
I
1
know.
norm all over n again to the power of what of n. So we pick max here. Okay, we move on. We do finance. So my functions, in other words, I'm proposing which maybe we end with them.
Yes.
And then here, this is what is this? Okay, this one is
Tree
probability. Tree diagram. Yeah, tree diagram now you can
No,
back
we
later.
can meet.
Let's come back
Get
later.
a balls.
But probability. So how do you propose we're going to do this? Again, we go to question 1 again. We skip question 2.
Yeah.
Because question, Mara, you can do question 2. It's just sometimes quite tricky, which they put questions there that can be a little bit challenging. So we want things that are simple. In fact, if it was according to me, I would propose to learners to say start with question 3. You write question 3. You write question 4. And then you then go to question 1. Because question 1 can also be tricky. So why am I saying this? I don't want you to be to lose confidence early on. Yeah. I don't want you to be discouraged. Yeah. So you should be confident. By the time, and here's what's the nicest thing about the confidence. If you get the first one correct, you feel your confidence. Now, if you get the second one correct, the confidence goes up. By the time you get to, even if those ones are challenging, Mara, because of the confidence is there. Mara, if you go to the first question, then you're going to give up. So we go to question 3, question 4, question 1 again. And then we can then go to finance, which is question 7. We can then go to probability, which is question 9. And then from there, we can go to question 2. And then after that, it's in no particular order. You can just approach them. So basically, guys, with our Zoom lesson, starting from tomorrow, I'm going to send you the question paper now. We'll be, I almost said I should give you time to go and write. Then we should just discuss which questions we're going to be doing. But based on what we're saying here, I agree we're going to start with question 3. So it means let's go and write for tomorrow. We're marking question 3. And we're also going to be marking question 4. So we'll do only these 2. And then we'll do question 1 on Sunday. Yes.
Scroll down a little bit.
Yes.
Scroll.
Yes.
Oh, I
Probability. Yeah, remember probability.
Stats. So great. So X and Y. Oh,
yeah, it's paper 2 that was. This one, it's the, and then you can see what are they assessing? Probability, assessing everything. So this is the addition rule again. Probability of A or B. If they're mutually exclusive, again, if they're independent, Yabon?
Oh.
And then after that contingency
Mhm.
table, you remember
Ay,
A, B, C, D. How do we get them? Then we can start with C. This one and this one and this one. Yabon? So, but the idea is that today we just see the paper and then we'll start with question 3, question 4, as the way we are going to do them when we get to examination. And then, any questions, guys? Before we close?